4 to 6 days later.
Amaranth.
What is up, everyone? It's the Natural here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And we are back once again with another TMIR This Month In Review. This show that pretty much is every big breaking story, every mad story, every hilarious story, every insane story, pretty much anything that happens in 1 month goes into this very show. So, what has happened in the third month of the year, that is March of 2022? Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, is a tyrant cockroach.
Hello?
Is Seymour there? Last name, Butts.
Just a sec. Hey, is there a Butts here? See more Butts? Hey, everybody! I want to see more Butts! Oh, wait a minute. Listen, you little scum-sucking putz bucket. When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna pull out your eyeballs with a corkscrew.
Now you may be asking, Natural, why are you saying Vladimir Putin is a tyrant? Why are you saying Vladimir Putin is a cockroach? Well, if you have no idea what's been going on in the past month, let me explain the whole situation between Russia, Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. Let's start off way back in February, the end of last month, in February of the 24th, when Russian troops invaded Ukraine, took over the capital city of Kiev, many other parts of Ukraine as well. Now you may be asking yourself, Natural, why is he doing this? Because Vladimir Putin doesn't want Ukraine to be part of the European Union and doesn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO. I will get on to Ukraine's whole situation with European Union and stuff like that, but NATO, in terms of this whole situation with Ukraine, Russia and Putin, is mainly on NATO. And NATO, if nobody has any idea what it is a military alliance where 14 countries of the West try to protect themselves from, you guessed it, Russia. And other countries as well, to make sure they're not invaded and taken over by some pathetic cockroach like Vladimir Putin.
Here's an impression of
Vladimir Putin
that you might find a little cheeky. I miss
Putin.
blah blah blah. Do this, do that, blah blah blah. I think I'm so big, blah blah blah.
They signed this agreement way back in the early 90s, and it was for, I think there was like 13 members of the NATO. I think America, United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, West Germany at the time. Those sort of countries were all sort of part of it at the beginning, and then obviously when the Soviet Union collapsed, you had Poland, you had Czech Republic, and many other countries as well joining NATO, and obviously the European Union. Putin just isn't attacking Ukraine because of NATO. He's also attacking Ukraine because he literally thinks that Ukraine and Russian people are the same. They think they have the same language, the same ecosystem, the same communities, the same freaking everything down to the freaking T. That's wrong. He's completely wrong. He's completely delusional by thinking that, because Ukrainian people and Russian people are not even the same. It's like comparing a motorcycle to a fucking car. Completely different things, really different. It's beyond ridiculous to say that this man literally thinks that Ukrainian people and Russian people are the exact same. It's not. Yes, Ukraine were part of the Russian Empire back in the 90s, But the thing is, so much things have fucking changed since the fucking 90s. First and foremost, Ukraine was an independent country back in 91. Things have changed since then. You know, first and foremost, Ukrainian people speak their own language. They have their own way of life, their own culture. Yes, maybe in history, in the past, which is one thing Ukraine are trying to get the fuck away from, war doesn't help anyone in this situation. We all want peace and serenity, not war, bloodshed and chaos, which is what Vladimir Putin wants. Going back to Ukraine, Ukrainian people have been, ever since they've been an independent country, have been wanting to get into the European Union ever since they've been an independent country, but they've been single-handedly trying their best because the governments in Ukraine, some of them want it and some of them don't. And back in 2013, when Ukraine literally thought they were going to go into the European Union, is when their ex-president at the time didn't. He said, nope, we're going to stay in Russia, and he literally had to leave his post as the former president of Ukraine to go to this, ladies and gentlemen, back to Russia and be Vladimir Putin's bitch. But back in 2014, it got even worse for the Ukrainian country when Vladimir Putin and Russia axed Crimea, which is a part of the peninsula in Ukraine, and they axed it. And it's now, I think, just a weapons base for military stuff like that, sort of thing. But it's so much to this is beyond insane. Like, the amount of research I had to do for this video, and there's other things I've left out because I didn't want this to be an hour-long video. I will leave links in the description to other videos that I found on this if you enjoy even want more education on the whole Russia and Ukraine war, even though it's not really Russia's war, it's more Putin's war, because he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, he doesn't want Ukraine to join the European Union. Pretty much, he doesn't want Ukraine to be an independent country. He literally is, tell you what it is, right? Think of Vladimir Putin as that dad who literally doesn't want their daughter at the age of 28 to go out and have a fucking social life. Go out and enjoy her life. Get married. Have kids. Raise a family. You know? No. He single-handedly wants that daughter to just literally stay in the pit of despair where she belongs. And that is what Vladimir Putin is doing with Ukraine. Ukraine can't even breathe. They can't even just, they're just cocooned in this sort of Russian stratosphere that Putin is single-handedly putting on them. It's unfucking believable. It's insane. The Russian people, the citizens of Russia, have been protesting in St. Petersburg and Moscow to single-handedly stop their own president from doing this war on Ukraine. And obviously the Ukraine people have had to flee to other parts of the world to protect themselves and be blip and safe from a fucking cockroach in Vladimir Putin, who single-handedly has caused destruction on a country that they live in. It's insane to say the least. And like I said, this is not Russia's war. This has nothing to do with Russia. It's to do with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is doing this war. Vladimir Putin wants this war. None of the Russian people want it. None of his freaking government want it, apart from him. He has got so much power in Russia. It's insane. I've never seen a man with that amount of power in my life. So what happens next in this Putin's war? I'm not calling it the Russia-Ukraine war, which every other media company has been single-handedly saying. No, this is Putin's war. Putin wants the war of Ukraine, not Russia. Well, I think two things have to happen. I think option A, and I think the one that I think everybody wants, is Putin today, to be honest. I know that's a bit extreme saying, I know, but the man has killed thousands of people in Ukraine. He's destroyed cities, he's destroyed communities and everything in Ukraine. He's starting on the verge, we're on the verge of World War III, for God's sake. So that's option A. But I think option B, the one I'll probably go for, is I think there has to be a massive rebellion from the Russian people and his government and all the media outlets in Russia to stop Putin, because I think that's the only way I think Putin's going to lose this war. I mean, we're already seeing the oligarchs of Russia, assets have been ceased. We know that the owner of Chelsea has had to sell his club, and what that does for his reputation is a different story. That's a video for another time. But going back to this, I think it's the only way. I think the Russian people and everybody in Russia, pretty much not just that, I think the whole world really, but mainly Russia, have to rebel against this guy, because I don't see how this man stops. He's not going to stop. Like, he's already caused enough fucking damage already, but he wants more damage. He wants more and more. So that's how I see it, to be honest. It's quite depressing, really, seeing what's going on in the world right now. Forget that. It's quite depressing what's been happening in the past 2 fucking years with the pandemic, you know, and now this. It's like, can we just have a year where it's just peaceful and calm, and you can just go out without having to look behind your back for every 5 seconds, you know? So it's quite sad, really, and yeah, and that's the whole, you know, big massive story. Forget about this month, probably of this year, maybe at this whole start of this decade, is Vladimir Putin starting war with Ukraine. It's just fucking depressing.
Attention Pepsi drinkers, introducing the new taste of Coca-Cola, the best Coca-Cola ever. That's all I'm going to say. In fact, that's all I have to say. No more words.
Even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable?
President Putin was a total gentleman.
Finally, I'd like to thank Harvey Weinstein. The Punisher, that's his nickname.
You know the Bugatti Veyron? Are you familiar? Yeah, it's this Volkswagen bought Bugatti and said, we're going to make a supercar that's got 1,000 horsepower. Which sounds great, but they haven't yet worked out how such a thing might be possible.
They just said it.
They just said it. Anyway, they're still working away on it. Now, the people that were making all the sort of perfume and the leather wash bags that were going to go with it, you know, Bugatti-branded stuff, got bored with waiting, so they're all starting to launch the stuff. And the latest, right, is this watch, OK? This is a Bugatti Veyron watch that I'm wearing. Guess how much it is?
No idea.
A grand? 140,000.
No!
And it's absolutely hideous.
That's 140 grand for a watch commemorating a car that doesn't exist.
And
Kim Kardashian thinks that everybody in the world, especially all the females, should work harder.
The best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work.
shut up, bitch!
That's right, Kim Kardashian. She's back in the news again, and all for the wrong reasons as usual. There's a video on social media recently where she literally told everybody in the world, please work harder. If, you know, getting nowhere in life, you know, slacking off in terms of, you know, being miserable and being a pain is getting you nowhere in life. It's like, this woman is the most delusional human being I've ever seen. Ever. Like, for goodness sake. What do you mean, work harder? What's that even mean? There's so many girls who look up to Kim Kardashian and say,
oh my god, she's amazing. Oh my god, I want to be like her. Oh my god, I want to take all these, I want to have so many cosmetic surgeries to look like Kim Kardashian.
It's like, why would you want to be like her? Look at her. She looks like a freaking wax figure, for God's sake. She looks like something you see in a freaking history museum. Just Kim Kardashian, wax figure.
Emotional, damn it!
You need to be careful in this world about certain people in life, because some of them would just think, why you get your claws into you and just make your life a misery. And that's Kim Kardashian, and that's the rest of these influencer mentalities. I'm not saying every influencer is bad or horrible or is like Kim Kardashian, but I'm saying a minority of them are. So yeah, that's all I need to say on this ridiculous, insane, cringy ass woman telling the whole freaking world to work harder. Good God, give me strength. A man is selling a cursed painting because it has ruined his life.
Stewie, relax. No, Brian, you keep that thing away from me. Is it looking at me? Can it see me? Man, you're really scared of this thing, huh? Does it eat little boys? I don't know, maybe, if it's hungry.
Our mad insane story of this week, and boy, I think we need a little bit of humor and a little bit of positivity in a negative world that's been going on for the past month. But this story I think is flippin' hilarious because this man bought a painting, and ever since he bought it, it's been a disaster with this man's life. He has single-handedly had bad sleep, he can't even eat right, sort of thing, and I felt for this guy because, I mean, look at the painting. How can this painting be a thorn in this guy's life? Like, what is it? It's not like the scream face. I understand having that painting posted up in your bedroom wall and looking at it every single time you go to bed and turn the lights off and you just see it like that. Fine, but I like the fact, how has that become a cursed painting? So yeah, this man bought a cursed painting and it's absolutely caused him pain and suffering and has ruined this man's life. Oh Lord, I think we needed a positive, hilarious story because goodness me, the world is fucking depressing. And our final good wholesome story of today is a man wins gold medals at the age of 102.
This 102-year-old athlete is proving that when it comes to competition, age ain't nothing but a number. This Thai man is his country's oldest sprinter. He recently competed at the 26th Thailand Master Athletes Championship, where older athletes compete in activities like the 100-meter sprint, long jumps, and the javelin throw. He gave his all during his events, and it paid off. The Century Club member completed the 100-meter run in 28.7 seconds, a new record in his age group, and he left the games draped in gold medals.
So everyone, that's the end of another video on the channel and the end of another TMIR This Month in Review. If you think that Kim Kardashian is, well, a bitch, and you think, most of all, that President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, is a fucking tyrant cockroach, because I think he is, then just lean back and headbutt that motherfucking like button. You can also follow me on my social media platforms, the link is just down there in the description. I hope you all have an amazing day out there. Stay safe and healthy too. Please like, subscribe, the natural, the punk of YouTube is out.